Hi, I'm Charles, here with Team Alyvix. You know, monitoring critical IT systems is probably the most important use of Alyvix. After all, IT systems that are down are IT systems that can't help your staff get their work done or let your customers buy your products. If you want to be sure that your applications are always up and running, then you should pair Alyvix with a monitoring system that schedules checks and sends you alerts when things go wrong. Most monitoring systems check hardware parameters, but they don't look at applications from the user's point of view. Using Alyvix Service lets you see what your users see. Today, let's look at one of these monitoring systems called neteye. If you already have a working neteye installation, how can you integrate Alyvix into your existing monitoring setup? I'll show you how in this video. Before we start, we need to have one or more machines called Alyvix nodes, each with Alyvix installed to run the test cases and Alyvix Service installed to control them and to communicate with neteye. We already have two videos showing you how to set up both Alyvix and Alyvix Service. So if you haven't already done so, watch those videos, install Alyvix and Alyvix Service on each node, and then come back here. Remember that Alyvix Service requires both the proper certificates and a Java Web Token to integrate with neteye. You can find general information about certificates in neteye in the neteye user guide at this link. The neteye installation also includes a shell command to help generate certificates that will be recognized by that neteye instance. Simply fill in the command parameters according to your environment. You can also find a pre-generated Java Web Token at this path in your neteye installation. When everything is ready, it only takes a few configuration steps to add visual monitoring to your other monitoring checks in neteye. All right then, let's get started. Right after you hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on everything about Alyvix, of course. The Alyvix module is included in neteye, but it's not enabled by default. You'll need to start up a shell and run these two commands. The procedure is also described in detail in the neteye user guide, if you'd like to go at your own speed. It may take a minute or two to complete the installation process. Once it's finished, you'll then need to refresh your browser, log out of neteye, and then log back in to reset the necessary permissions. When you're done, in the neteye web interface, you'll see that the Alyvix module has been added to the menu on the left side. If you click to start Alyvix, you should see an empty screen like this. You can now set up your server as a standalone host within neteye. Go to Director and add a new host object, giving it a name and IP address. The only additional step you'll need is to set the parameter Alyvix to Yes, as shown here. Then use neteye's deploy action as usual. After deploying, the new node will appear in the Alyvix module. Each node needs an Alyvix server license. To get the license request, go to the node's License tab and click on the Download Request Key button. This will save a request file into your Downloads folder, which you then send to the email address info@alyvix.com as an attachment. An activation key will then be sent back to you. Save it and use the Upload Activation Key button to select that key file. Once activated, you can immediately add a session to your new node by clicking on the nodes row and then the New Session button. You insert the user domain and name, modify the timing and display parameters, insert the password, and then hit the Save button. The new session will then be displayed and its status updated. That's it. You've now set up Alyvix Service to run with neteye, and you're ready to create your first session. In our next video, we'll configure Alyvix Service to run a test case on that session and look at the resulting report. See you then.